welcome back to my channel. I'm still going to enjoy Anwatu. Today is another session of book review with my Pastor Collins.
Good morning. Good morning.
So Pastor is here again to review yet another book of Reverend Chris Christian. Remember I told you he's a pastor in Locust Army International Church. He's here again to review this wonderful and life-transforming book written by Reverend Chris Christian with the title The Reigning Knowledge of the Last Millennium. The Reigning Knowledge of the Last Millennium. This book is a 10 chapters book, and Pastor is here to tell us what is in this book. So, tune in. So, let's hear Pastor.
Thank you. Good morning. Thank you for having me. It's a delight to be here once more. The book, The Reigning Knowledge of the Last Millennium, is a 10-chapter book, just like she said. And it's a book for people of high thoughts, people who are thinkers, you know. If you are not somebody who is deep in knowledge, you might not be able to go, stay with this book for long. Yes. If you're not a thinker, you might not be able to stay with this book for long. Now, by way of going into the book, firstly, I want to say that we all know that knowledge is power. It's a given factor. And to the extent how far God is going to go with anybody is based on the person's knowledge base. The knowledge base of the person, what the person knows, or what the person knows about God. You get. So that is it. Now, it said the last millennium. Every millennium is characterized by a particular knowledge or revelation. I'm going to be interchanging knowledge or revelation in the course of this discussion. Every particular millennium is characterized by a distinct knowledge, or a distinct revelation. And that knowledge or that revelation is what controls how God, shows himself in that dispensation or that millennium. That body of knowledge, is what controls the deeds or the acts of God, amongst those people. Now, Jesus came, and through the knowledge and revelation of Christ, Jesus introduced the knowledge or revelation of grace and truth. So Jesus was able to introduce Christ and also bring the church through grace into what we are now. Now, but before Jesus came, there was an existing knowledge. Yes, there was an existing knowledge base. There was an existing revelation that controlled how the people of the old related with God. You get. So when he came, those persons contradicted what Jesus was saying, because Jesus came with something distinct and different.
Different from what they used to know.
Yes, from what they used to know. Yeah. Jesus came with something different. And it was not as if what he was saying was entirely different from the scribe or what God has said then. But he only came to progress it. So, but they were not accepting it because it was not given to them to accept it. It was not given to them to understand it. You understand? It was not given to them to understand it or to reveal it or to unveil it. Now, Jesus has come and gone. Now, the last millennium is a millennium that will also be characterized by a different revelation, a different knowledge base. It's going to be characterized by a whole different body of thought. And when that body of thought is also going to, somehow be different from what Jesus has said. But it's just an advance.
Yes.
Do you understand? So Jesus came with what we call grace and truth. Now, the last millennium is the millennium of God himself, where God is going to come in fullness. God has never come in fullness to the earth. The only thing God did, God came in parts. If God wants to come to the, what God does is that God incarnates a spirit, gets a thought, and that thought produces a people. God came as spirit of the law in the time of Moses. Yeah. So they had the people of the law. When it was time for Jesus, God came as Christ, which is Son of God. So in this last millennium, God is going to come as himself fully. And he's going to introduce the age or the knowledge of vengeance. Vengeance simply means a time of utter brightness, where every revelation that makes God, the compendium of revelations that makes up God is going to be coming to unveil those revelations. You understand? Now that time when he comes in his fullness, we that are of the church, we might want to contradict it because it is not given to us to unveil. Yes, it is not given to us to unveil. Them who unveil, a new revelation that would, lead us into a new season, they have to pay the price that would enhance that revelation. Just like Jesus had to die to enhance the revelation of grace and truth that brought about the church. You get. So it is not for it is just like that. God has not come in fullness before, but in the last millennium, He's going to come in fullness. He's going to come, His person, and He's going to come, as God, with God, because God is not just He's not just one being. He's a conglomerate. You understand? It's a conglomerate of different spirits, different brightness, different thoughts that are higher than what we know. So when he begins to come, we that are of the church will begin to find fault in what
In his own knowledge.
in his own knowledge. But that is the way forward. That is how it is. That is the way forward. So if you want to, know more of the knowledge of the last revelation, just like I said, that God is going to introduce the age of vengeance. And vengeance means complete or total brightness. Where nothing will be hidden, where nothing will no longer be, nothing will no longer will any longer remain a mystery, because there are so many mysteries, so there are so many unanswered questions that the church is yet to answer. But when that time comes, there is nothing that will be hidden anymore. Everything will be answered. Everything will be unveiled. Everything, nothing will be a mystery again, because the person that has, the mandate to unveil those mysteries will be available then. So that is what this book is talking about. I do pray and wish that as many like I will lay their hands on this book will be patient enough to read through to understand what the writer was actually saying. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Pastor. Pastor, I've taken time to, to summarize what is in this book. With this review, it will help you to, understand why reading. So I advise you get this copy, listen to this review, then and start reading. It will help you to, because you have to have basic knowledge.
Yes.
Or previous knowledge already
Previous
for you to
knowledge.
understand this book.
Yes.
If you're just a novice in things of
God. That's why I said it's for thinkers. It's for people who are deep. It's not for shallow. For those of us who are still growing in the faith, you
have to have
understand.
basic knowledge
It's
of
for
certain things.
it's for deep. It's for deep thinkers. For deep
Yes.
thinkers. Because if you are, I don't want to call you a baby, but if you are new, you might find it difficult to understand. You might find it difficult to flow with it. You understand? It's for persons who are for matured believers.
Yes.
For matured believers, because just like I said before I started, that how far that God is going to go with anybody is based on what the person knows about God. The revelation that controls his relationship with God. That is how far God will. So if you want to progress, that means you have to know more. You have to be hungry for knowledge. You have to be hungry, and God is vast. You understand? God is vast. That is why if you are seeking God, you should be discreet in seeking God. It's in this book. If you are seeking God, you should be discreet. You shouldn't scatter your energy trying to learn everything, because you can't learn everything. You can't learn everything. But there are just like when Jesus came, Jesus went to the Bible to look for the things that were written concerning him. He didn't go to everything. He just went to the thing that were written concerning him, and he said to them in the temple one time that he came to fulfill this thing because it was written concerning him. So he was discreet enough to know why he came, and he went straight to that. So in our fellowship with God, in our walk with God, we should be discreet, because you can't actually learn everything. You can't actually know everything. So that is what the book is all about. It's in this book that you can't actually know everything, but you should be discreet enough to pay attention to a particular knowledge that can improve you, that can transform you.
Yes, thank you so much. The book said the reigning knowledge of this last millennium, because we're in the last millennium, and this last millennium has its own reigning knowledge.
Yeah.
Just like every other millennium, each millennium has its own revelation, has its own knowledge.
Yes.
So this book is talking about this last one. Is the reigning one.
Yes.
Everybody needs to know it.
Yes.
So we need to keep progressing in our knowledge, in our seeking to know more. And also to know what this season is all about. This book will help you to know what this season is all about, what we're expected to know at this time. So I advise you get this book at the Shekinah bookshop at Locust Army International Church at the road, Aja, Lagos, Nigeria. You can get this copy, this hard copy. You can get the e-copy at the website www.shekinahmediahouse.com. So you can read it in between lines to understand very well what this book is all about. We will see you again in our next edition. Pastor, you're going to come back again to
Thank you.
review yet another book. Reverend Chris Kinson has written so many wonderful books.
Several books.
450 books.
Yeah.
450 books. You can see we have not even done half
We've not scratched the surface, but we're
so
still
we have
scratching.
so many other books to review. So Pastor is still going to come back to review another book. So till then, we will see you with another interesting book. Thank you for joining us. Remember to share this video, like, comment, and also invite your friends, your families to tune in. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.